have to do this again and say you
No,
deserve
stop
them.
it. You did it already. You did it already.
You
Let's do the
deserve
show. Let's do the show.
I watched the show. It's a good show.
Great. Thank you.
All right, let's move on.
I've got a quick question for you, alright? I wanna hear your thoughts, I wanna know what's on your mind. I've got a quick question for you, alright? The answer's not important, I'm just glad that we could talk tonight. So what's your favourite? How did you get? When will I be remembered? Was it ever? Where did all the how do we know? Oh, forget it. Soren, Daniel O'Brien, two best friends and comedy writers. If there's an answer, they're gonna find it. I think you'll have a great time here. I think you'll have a great time here.
So, hello again and welcome to another episode of Quick Question with Soren and Daniel, the podcast with long answers. I am one half of that podcast, senior writer for Last Week Tonight with John Oliver, the author of How to Fight Presidents, and winner of, as of this recording 3 days ago, 6 WGA Awards. Daniel O'Brien, joined as always by my co-host, Mr. Soren Bowie. Soren, say hello.
They gave you 6 all at once?
I
They
know.
just decided, like, over the next few years, we anticipate that you will continue to win this, so here's 6.
It's just too exhausting. See, the WGA is one guy in a van. He drives the awards back and forth from his house where he makes them to the ceremony. And he's like, it's just so much easier if I just leave these all here right now.
Now, do you know, you showed it to me, for anyone who's just listening, it's a big bird with, that sort of like morphs into the bottom of a trophy. Do you know like who that is, like why it's a bird, any of that?
I'm sure it's written down somewhere. I'm sure it's even been explained to me at some point. I think actually this is for our listeners who don't know, this one actually is from 2019, the one that I'm holding up. So it's not the one that I just got, but that one's downstairs. It sort of terminates at the bottom in like, I think a pen, like an old-timey pen, maybe.
What?
No.
Oh, wait, you mean the bird?
The bird terminates in an old-timey pen.
Oh yeah, I see that.
Is it maybe a bird? Is it maybe like a book open? Is it
it's pages.
A whale
turning into okay, I got it. It's pages turning into a bird, and the legs of the bird are a pen.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a giant monument to say we're better with words than we are with sculpture, which is the one of the founding principles of the Writers Guild.
Right. Not so good at building things other than...
Yeah, we're not visual storytellers.
Well, Daniel, congratulations. Congratulations on another WGA award. That's wonderful.
Thank you.
Do you know the company you're in? Do you know who else won awards?
Who else won awards? I don't know all of them off the top of my head. This is going to sound like such a champagne-y problem. We might have talked about this before, but I can't stress how strange and unfun the WGA award ceremony is.
Okay.
It's a famously... We're in New York in the Edison Ballroom, where they used to have the Streamies and Webby Awards. So you know it. You know it.
I've been there.
And it's a famously like boozed up affair. It's a very like they want you incredibly drunk. There's a cocktail hour in the beginning, and then they seat you at your table. You're not allowed to stand and mingle anymore. You have to go to your table, and then like wedding style, they serve you dinner before anything happens. There's not like some kind of preamble going on while you're eating. You're just sitting there eating at a table with your coworkers and some other people who might be sat at your table because they're also with HBO or they're also in your category, and your job didn't all fit at one table, so you're sort of spread out. So it's a mix of your coworkers and some strangers, and you're eating the one main meal they have, which is chicken and vegetables. And if you say, I can't have that, because there was too much dairy involved in their meal. So I just said, is there a vegan option because of my dietary restrictions? And then they give you dry quinoa and 4 cubes of tofu. Those are the options. It is chicken. It is tofu. Period.
Love it.
and you sit there
Give me
and
one
you
of both.
eat for, I don't know, 90 minutes or something like that, and they keep pumping you full of alcohol, and then it's a very long ceremony, and because no one in it is like the fanciest of fancy people, because not only is it writers, but it's writers in New York. It's not even the LA Hollywood writers. They're having their own ceremony at the same time, slightly earlier, which is nice. But because it's untelevised and unfancy, there's no playoff music. Everyone gets to talk for as long as they want. And there's a lot of people who genuinely, this is the only like awards thing they go to, really. Yeah. It's not like you see the same people at Golden Globes and SAG and Academy Awards and Emmys kind of thing. These are writers who are like, this is the thing that they get to do a year. And as much as there are like late night variety categories like the one that I'm in, and there's movies and TV shows, there's also a lot of awards for like writing promotional copy, advertorial copy, and there's like journalism awards and radio play awards. These are all valid categories of things. I don't know any of them or anyone who's in them. So there's just it's a lot of time hearing lists of names, working on things that are so much more important than the thing that I'm working on, and they get so much less recognition. But I still just do not give a hoot, because all I'm thinking about is I want this thing to be over so I can get my real meal, because the tofu and quinoa didn't count.
Right.
And I'm wearing a suit, and I should be rewarded for wearing a suit with some fucking chicken fingers and French fries. And then we get to our category, which is usually last because there's like 900 of us. There's so many people in. Not in the category. There's like 5 shows in the category, but the writing staffs are huge. Well,
it's a weekly show.
It's the I think the most unfair thing in this whole affair is the presenters, I don't believe, are told in advance just how many names they have to read when they're announcing the nominations, because our category was presented by Michael McKean and Annette O'Toole. Ooh. Very cool to see them. And I'm sure someone was like, hey, Michael McKean, you're in town for Saturday Night Live 50th anniversary special. Yeah. Do you want to get free meal and get picked up in a car and wear a suit and present at an award show? And he's like, sure, I'll do that. I used to be on SNL. I'll do this. And then he gets on stage and sees the teleprompter, and it's like, all right, the writers of Late Show with Stephen Colbert. And then he reads fucking 25 names, a lot of them he's never seen before. And he's like, all right, got through it. Okay, next up, Seth Meyers, writing staff, and then 25 more fucking names. And he does that 5 times. They say everybody's name one after the other. And I can tell that they are not presented in the teleprompter phonetically. Yeah. And you can, because we in the audience can also see all of the names on a screen. And so we know if they're screwing up or just doing their best.
What? That's got to be like the WGA, they fight so hard for like name recognition. They fight so hard for, in our show, for instance, the fact that you're going to get billing, your name's going to pop up either beginning of the episode or at the end of the episode makes a big difference. How your name is going to pop up, whether it's going to be with somebody else, like they're going to stack them, or it's just going to be alone on the screen for a while. Like these are all really big things that the WGA tries to like fight for on every single one of your deals. And it's so funny and it's so perfect that they're like, and everyone will be named individually.
But anyway, I don't mean to complain, and I think we've already talked about it before, but we won, and it was exciting.
It's your 6th, Daniel. It's your 6th award. You're allowed to complain at this point.
It was nice.
Proving you're not resting on your laurels. You're proving that this is deserved. They are... These awards, I don't even know what you're going to do with all of them. Do they just pile up, or do you give them away?
Oh boy. The Emmys are spread out across family. The Writers Guild Awards, because that's not like... I love to look at them and have them, and it's very meaningful to me. They're not they're like famously used as a punchline in 30 Rock as a stand-in for like an unimpressive award that you wouldn't brag about, because people can recognize an Oscar and they can recognize even an Emmy or a Grammy. A Writers Guild Award feels and is very much like an industry trophy, you know, like I'm sure there's the Plummy Awards for plumbers, or the whatever awards that are not going to really break through to the mainstream. That's what the WGAs feel like, and for that reason, I'm not like gifting them to family.
Well, nobody knows what the WGA is. It's for everyone listening. This is the Writers Guild of America.
Yes.
There's two divisions of it. There's East and West. But you're in the Writers Guild if you've written something that has been produced. So generally, that people think of that as television and movies, but I guess it extends into other places as well. Is it radio plays and stuff like that? Okay. So WGA, it's famously hard to get into because it's so hard to get a job in television. They say as soon as you join the WGA, people are like, you know, it's harder to get into the WGA than the MLB. And the MLB, for anyone who also doesn't know, that's fucking baseball. You can't be a professional. It's harder to be this than a professional baseball player. I don't know if I still believe that. I haven't crunched the numbers myself.
It's not.
And
I don't care what the numbers say.
And so it's just the Writers Guild, which is super crucial. It's like when we had the strike and everything, that's all the Writers Guild trying and advocating on behalf of creatives who the industry at every turn is trying to fuck.
Yeah.
And so the Writers Guild is wonderful. They are very good at doing all the stuff that a creative person would not be good at doing, like fighting for themselves, advocating for more money, making sure that they're getting their credits.
It's not an overstatement to say that the Writers Guild is the only reason that good shows exist or have existed or will ever exist.
100%.
It's like the easiest statement to make in the world, because good shows exist when writers gain experience and mentorship and knowledge, and they get that when they have protection at work and the room to learn and grow and be mentored, and those protections are in place because the Writers Guild fought for them 100 years ago and is fighting for them every year since, and meeting every new modern challenge that comes at it.
Right. It's a wonderful
Dinner
guild.
fucking sucks though.
So that it's nice that they're doing their own award show. That's wonderful that they're also recognizing the people who are out there. I can't conceive of a world in which I want something that weighs 15 pounds, duplicated 6 times in my house, and has no other function than to sit there. At least with the Webbies, I was like, if I get enough of these, I could make like a really good box spring. Yeah, I could put these under my bed, and it would be right under the mattress, and it would be really nice. Okay, well, congratulations, Daniel.
Hey,
congratulations
thanks, buddy.
on that. Yeah,
thank you. It's great to be part of this union, and great to be in these categories. Awards are silly, but we still humbly accept them, and they're fun.
I know that you feel you have to say that every time. You have to acknowledge that you feel it's silly that you won awards. And I'm just going to fucking have to do this again and say, you deserve them. No, stop it.
You did it already. Let's do the show. Let's do the show. I have to record this podcast so I can go back to work.
You are doing an excellent job. You're great at your job, and you deserve this award, Daniel. I watched the show. It's a good show.
Great.
Anyway,
thank you.
All right. Let's move on. Speaking of shows, speaking of some of the best prestige television out there, I want to talk to you about The Bachelor, because we didn't check in about it last week, and it's been 2 weeks. I feel like this could be bi-weekly. That is what that means, right? Bi-weekly?
I have no idea.
We semi-weekly, bi-weekly? I'm not really sure which one it is. But every other week, let's say that. I want to check in with you about The Bachelor.
I had a fun little side note. In our first episode, talking about The Bachelor, Soren revealed that someone he knows was on The Bachelor, and he was very proud that the someone he knows on the very first episode got not just a rose, but like a special rose. Got like a
first impression rose.
A premium rose, first impression rose, which means she got one-on-one time with The Bachelor. It's very exciting. Soren was pumped about it and thought it was a great sign for his person he knows. I talked to my coworker Allie, who recaps Bachelor and Bachelorette for Vulture.com and has is the closest thing to a Bachelor expert as could exist. And I brought this person up, and she goes, "Oh yeah, she's gonna lose." I was like, "What?" Like, yeah, the person they give the first impression rose to, they're never gonna make it.
What?
I know.
All right. I mean,
We'll
Allie's
see.
entitled to her opinion, but I'm gonna like fill you in. So, for anyone who didn't listen to that episode, I know somebody on The Bachelor. Not well. She's my child's language therapist, but there was a month where she was gone, and it turned out she had been filming The Bachelor, and I was like, well, then I'm gonna watch the goddamn Bachelor because I am curious now, and she's been killing it. I'll give you like a quick update of her first. There's frequently drama on the show, as you would expect.
Put it on the poster.
Ready for this season of The Bachelor? There's going to be drama, as you would expect. The exact same amount as you were expecting, we will provide. She's so removed from it all in a way that I find very baffling, because there are definitely moments where there's one girl out on a date. You know what? I'm really going to make an effort here. There's one woman out on a date with him. They call each other girls. That's why it's so fucking hard.
Sure.
They talk to them about themselves as girls. Okay, so there's one woman out on a date with him. She won it by riding a bull or whatever. And then the other ones are all just in a room together fighting. And usually it's only two, but the other ones all kind of pick sides. And it becomes like they're always fighting about time with him, or whether they're actually committed to the show, or whether they're being nice to the other girls. Like there's lots to complain about. And as they're fighting, I'm noticing Alex isn't even there. Like Alex is frequently just not involved in these moments. And by default, when you're in proximity to it, you speak it all, you're on a side all of a sudden. And so you're just like, you sink into this quagmire of the drama of the show. And for whatever reason, I don't know why, if the producers are protecting her, she's just unscathed by it. She's not, in those moments, she's not there, or if she is there, she does not speak. She's somehow next to both girls who are in the fight, like hugging them and like giving them like touching them, giving them supportive rubs and stuff. It's like Roger in American Dad. Like you like there's like all on one side you see like one girl crying, and then on the other side of the room you go to the other girl crying, and somehow Alex is over there too. Right. Just like, hey, it's fine, we're good. And I don't know why she's allowed to do this. It's really great. She just exists above it all.
It does seem like to pivot this into a movie pitch, it feels like it could be a fun, more modern update of like a miscongeniality where one of the contestants is like an undercover FBI agent who is there to uncover some kind of huge scandal that's been happening behind the scenes, and she just needs to go undercover as one of the contestants. And that's why you don't really see her doing any of the challenges. It's because she's doing recon in the background. We'll just like drop from the ceiling every once in a while and pat Griselda on the head and be like, it's okay, Griselda, don't worry about it. And like subtly test for a wire and then remember, oh wait, we're all fucking mic'd up, never mind. That's that's an example of a joke that you could have in the movie.
She's in another room trying to hack into a computer.
Right.
Yeah. So somehow I don't know why she's allowed to do this. Also,
the Bachelor is clearly Vladimir Putin. No one addresses it. That's fine. Go on.
He takes a lot of girls on these individual dates. Alex is rarely one of them. But like, even when there's opportunities where like it should be drama. There's this moment where they go to Madrid, Spain, and as you know, Madrid, Spain, they got to do some bullfighting.
Oh, okay, man. I'm glad you filled me in because I do not know.
Gotta do some bullfighting there. I think those are Hemingway's words. And they get into a ring. They kind of like learn bullfighting. They have on the shittiest like Spirit Halloween matador costumes. And then the real challenge is that they have to do bull riding. Just a complete disrespect for the entire tradition of Madrid. There's like a mechanical bull that they're gonna ride on like they're at the fucking Lazy Saddle or whatever the bar is that's got one of those.
A mechanical bull that they brought to Madrid from like fucking Nashville or something. That wasn't native to Madrid.
And there's a professional matador there. It's a woman. Her whole family has been matadors. She is the first in her family who is the first female matador because they've got to have some sort of expert to sanction this. And you can just like see the depression on her face. They're like, and now we're going to make them ride a machine. And the girls get on and none of them last more than like 6 seconds. There's one at the very beginning who does like 18 seconds. And then Alex gets on. And Alex has a strategy. And so this thing has horns. And she just gets all the way down on it and wraps her arms around puts a full Nelson on the horns of this thing.
Sure.
And it looks very uncomfortable. It looks very funny because it's just this face down, ass up person getting flopped around on a bull.
Yeah.
She doesn't care. She's so like committed to it and she's so funny that like as it's happening, everybody's like, this was it. Like, this is how it should have been done. I don't know. I want to say 24 hours on this bull. It's a long time.
I'm glad that people were into it because that sort of lateral thinking, problem solving doesn't usually make good television. For someone to like cut through, like, no, I understand what you want is for me to look cute and fall down, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to give you some dog shit television. And you're going to watch me ride this thing for 12 full minutes.
Yeah. And Grant Ellis, who is the Bachelor, was like, I love Alex. She's so great. And you're like, she's good. That's the episode. Like, that's all I needed. I wanted to just hear him say that. And then the girl after her, the woman after her.
Hiya, folks. So what happened if you heard something and it sounds like we got interrupted? Soren once again failed on his commitment to say woman instead of girl. Said girl got so mad that he slammed his fists on his desk and ruined, perhaps forever, his audio setup. So we had to leave the record, come back with a brand new setup. And
there's nothing more humiliating than trying to be better about the way that you speak and getting so angry that you break something as a man.
Yeah.
That you're like, I was just a guy trying to be good in this 21st century. And then I break something.
I tried to use my brain. It didn't work. So then I did violence and that made things worse. And I don't understand it. What other tools do I have?
So honestly, if this recording sounds fucked up, I'm sorry. It's because I said girl instead of woman. I got angry at myself.
If this society was just a little bit more forgiving, then Soren would be pushed to the edge.
All right, let me get back on track here. She did this wrestling move on a mechanical bull.
Oh yeah, this is the woman after Alex. Got it.
Yeah, so then this woman after Alex, who is she's been trouble on the show before. She's caused a lot of conflict because she keeps stealing him away at moments when she's not allowed to. And all the other girls don't like that. They're like, if there's no rules, then society crumbles. And this other one's like, well, then let it crumble, basically. Yeah. She's like, I'm getting married. Why would I care about all of you? I'm here for him. And so she
sees a castle out of the rubble.
She sees Alex do this and she's like, okay, I'll do that too. And she does the exact same move. And Alex is like, that's my move. And then this other woman wins. And she gets a date with him because she won. And Alex just takes it on the chin. She's just like, oh, well. And she doesn't get upset about it. She doesn't complain to the camera about it. She doesn't, in her like little one-on-one. I think they're trying to like, and I'm saying one-on-one, I just mean like her and the camera. I think they're trying to like coax that out of her, and she's just not providing it. She's just like, it's all right.
Well, she's hot on the trail of an international drug smuggler. She can't really be bothered.
Yeah. Okay. So that's just like an update on Alex. She's doing fine. She's on the show. I think she's going to be on for a very long time.
Yeah.
You're entirely right. Allie might be right that she doesn't actually get it in the end. Maybe she doesn't even want it in the end. Maybe, this is Colleen's theory, maybe it gets near the end and he's like vacillating between two women and Alex is like, I just don't think you're right for me. Because honestly,
that would be chill.
That'd be great. I'm also noticing some deep red flags with this guy as the show goes on. Okay, so just to give you like the highlights of what's happened so far, there's this one woman named Carolina who is just fucking up everybody's day. But the way that she's doing it is tough not to like, because she is the only person who's really questioning why anyone would do a show like this. She's like, her questions are always, I mean, she gets to go on these individual dates with him. She gets to spend a lot of time with him. And still she's like, this is not enough time to get to know somebody. This is crazy.
Like, this is 42 seasons into the show?
I know. Yeah. And I think it didn't occur to her until she was in it. And then she was like, I like him, but I see him 5 minutes a day. I don't like, and I'm going to marry this man. And I want to talk to him more. I need to see him and just talk to him. And as she's doing this, the other girls are like, you're being super negative. and so it's making her a little crazy.
Listen, Carolina, none of us are actually here for love. We're so sorry that one of your friends said maybe you should try going on The Bachelor to find someone. They didn't mean it. That's not how anyone meets anyone.
So she's losing it. She made another girl leave. She confided. Okay, so this other girl, whose name ironically is Rose, this other girl they were in a room. They were not on television or anything. They were just like talking, and she confided something secret to her. Then Carolina brought that to Grant Ellis and told him, and then he approached the group of girls about it, and then Rose about it, and Rose was like, I told you that in confidence. Like, what is going on here? And the thing that she told her was also not a super nice thing to say.
Sure.
She had said, here, I'll give you like full context here. Carolina had won a contest where they were in like a group date, and Carolina had performed on a stage better than the other girls, everybody thought. And then Carolina won, and she came up on stage and got to do a private performance for Grant, and she ended up giving him like a lap dance and kissing him. And all the girls were like, that doesn't feel good to see. I think I like this guy. That's tough. And so there was some jealousy there.
Sorry. Is Carolina the chaos agent?
Yeah.
Okay. We have a name for her. Great.
And Rose is the girl who she's in a main fight with. Rose, in confidence then, when they were still friends, Rose had said, you know, Grant told me when he was dancing on stage with you that he was thinking of me. Fucked up thing to say to somebody, but also done in confidence. It got in Carolina's head, and she got very rattled by it. And so she confronted Grant about it. Grant was like, I did not do that. He then talked to Rose. He's like, Rose, what the fuck? And Rose was like, I thought I heard you say that. and so it's like, nobody's really good in this situation. You're never going to get to the bottom of who did this, or like why. What the intentions are really what I'm baffled by.
I need to get more information on Grant to see if he is dumb enough to do something like that. Because
I don't think he
the
is.
story seemed fake from the beginning. Yeah, that seemed like a really strange thing to say.
It would have been crazy for him to say that.
If you think you're being sweet, I don't think you say that. That's still just like an absurd thing for a person to say. Now, Grant might be absurd. I don't know. He's
not absurd. He plays basketball, Dan.
Okay.
That's Grant.
A famously normal type of guy.
Part of the reason I think he'd go to Madrid is that he played in Spain for a while, maybe with like the Euro League. I don't know. It's so confusing. Every time that they because he'll go on a date with one of these women, and they'll be walking around the streets of Madrid, and all of a sudden a soccer ball will roll in front of them. And he's like, oh, wow, a football. And he'll kick it, and it'll like go to a kid. And then it's supposed to look like this spontaneous game breaks out between him, his date, and all of these children in the streets of Madrid.
Sure.
that did not happen. Like,
no.
and the fact that they're like, the pretense is there is very funny. Or that every single date when it starts, he says, I wanted to take you here. Or I wanted to do this thing with you. And that is never once the case. Like, Grant is not doing this shit. I think that this is not only a ploy for the audience, but maybe for the women as well, that it in some ways makes you think, here's somebody who's making such a big effort and doing these very big romantic gestures. If it feels like it's coming from him, it's more likely that I will start to fall in love with this guy. But it's never him, right? It's just producers doing it over and over again, and him just taking credit for it. And so...
Right, because in reality, if I was the Bachelor on The Bachelor and was making up dates, it'd be like, I really wanted to take you here. It's 2 blocks from my house. I like it a lot. I know this restaurant's good. My favorite thing about it is I don't have to get a plane to Spain to get there. And then for our next date, I was thinking I would take you to the beach. It's 2 blocks from my apartment.
Yeah.
It's where I like to hang out.
We're going back to that first place. It's just, it's the only other place I know. I'm out of places, frankly.
Yeah, I know you didn't love it, but it's trivia night tonight, so you kind of gotta.
Be thinking of a name. Be thinking of a name for our team, please. So they go on these dates. It's all so manufactured. And Carolina is like struggling with that. Carolina's like, I don't know this guy at all. And the other girls are like, stop it. None of us know him. That's the whole point of the show. Like, and a lot of them are, like, there's one that has really engaged Carolina and been like, hey, if I felt that way, I would be packing my bags right now and going. And I'm like, yeah, that makes a lot of sense too. You're both making a lot of good points here. And it doesn't seem like she did that. She stayed on the show. The girl woman who confronted her stayed on the show. Rose left of her own accord because she already saw the writing on the wall. She was like, my relationship is irreparably fucked with this dude.
Sure.
I'm not going to win this thing. Why would I stay here? So she leaves. 2 other women get kicked off, and now we're down to, I think, like 5. There's only like 5 women left. Yeah, or maybe 6, but still.
Why did I think there was like 30 women on this show?
You're not wrong. So many of them get booted right off the bat. There are 1, 2, 3, 4. There's at least 20 women. There's a lot of women, and I'm looking through this list of the women, and I don't know who any of these women are. Like, so many of them got booted really early, and basically at the end of every episode, you lose 3 more.
Yeah. That's something that was very funny and tragic about at least the first season of Love is Blind, the only season that I watched, where they have so many contestants in the beginning before they know who's going to be the main players in the show. And in the first episode, you meet all these people trying to find love in a pod. And one of the guys is like, my name's Brad or whatever, and I like this show where you get to know someone through a wall before seeing each other, because I'm 5'4", and life is tough out there for guys who are 5'4", and I just want to I never got a chance to make a connection with someone before they find out that I'm 5'4", and I'm really hoping to put this Love is Blind thing to the test. We never fucking see him again for the rest of our lives. He is gone from the show. We don't get to see if his experiment worked, which I think is to say it did not. Yeah.
So this does happen on this show as well, where occasionally and they really don't address it. They really try to sweep it on the rug, where he was supposed to go on like a individual date with this one woman. The date doesn't happen because she left the show. And you're like, okay, why? They're not willing to tell you. That's all the information you'll be getting. Thank you. And the other women too. They're like, oh, where is she? Like, oh, she's left the show. She's not coming back. And the other women are like, did you kill her? Is she dead?
Are we going to get our phones back, or what's up? Can we?
So it's gotten to the point where everybody, there are some real factions growing. The women do not like each other. They really, now that they're so open to the idea of falling in love and the conceit of it, at least it feels that way, that obviously it gets harder and harder to watch other women then kiss and hold the guy that you like, or that you've trained yourself to like. Yeah. And so they're really, it's a torture session. You're just watching these women's faces, and they really clue on the faces. As soon as any one of the girls gets a kiss in public, any one of the women gets a kiss in public, they are immediately on the other women because they're like, let me see what your face is going to do. Oh, you don't like that. We're zooming in on that. And and so there's only one woman there who's like, I think this is a nightmare. I don't think we should be doing this. And the other women are like, stop being so negative.
Yeah.
You're bringing the whole house down.
I didn't realize how much kissing there is on the show. And
so much.
I do flash back to like being in my 20s and being at a party and having a crush on someone and seeing them drunkenly kiss someone else at the party. And I'd be like,
it's rough.
Well, I'm going to be sad for a couple of weeks now. I'm certainly not going to like wake up the next day, throw some water in my face and be like, maybe today I'll be the one to get the kiss. I'm just like, that's the end of that book, basically. We're going to close it.
I forgot also, because I've also been in a relationship for so long. Mm-hmm. Kissing feels like such like a non-starter. It's like the idea that watching other people kiss, I'm like, yeah, that's sure. And so when watching these other women get devastated by it, I was like, why are they so upset? And then I was like trying to think back on my own childhood, and I was like, yes, okay, I do remember how much that sucked to watch the person you like kiss somebody else. There's so much kissing. Everybody kisses. He kisses everybody over and over again. Every time that he has a little one-on-one by the fireplace with them, he's taking them maybe 20 yards away from the other women. They can all see what's going on. They talk for a little while. He cuddles with them, and they get very intimate, and then he kisses them. And I was thinking, when you go on a show like this, are you expecting I'm going to sleep with every single one of these women? And also, do you? Because they do have time alone. I wonder if that's part of the show and they're just not showing it. And I mean, the show, this whole plan of like, how are you going to fall in love with somebody? It seems pretty crazy not to have sex with them before you decide you're going to get married to them. I wonder if they're sleeping with each other occasionally on this show. I think there's even a moment later on where they get 24 hours alone and stuff like that, where he's really trying to decide. And I feel like he must be. But my coworker, Nicole Shabtai, who's great, shout out to her, she watches a lot of reality television, and she's like, here's what I think is happening. They get into those private cabanas where they're going to be staying for the next 8 hours, and it's just the two of them going, I really love God. I love God too. And them really trying hard not to have sex with each other, because it is always somebody who's religious. So it always ends up being that.
See, my guess would have... I had two guesses for what they do in the privacy pods that we can't see, and one of them would be dropping the masks and saying, like, listen, I don't think you're the one for me, but I understand. If you'd like to stay on television for a couple more weeks and maybe get a career out of this, or, like, whatever, do you want to stay on television? Like, that's fine. Let's just hang out in this pod then, and we'll kick it as friends later. Right. I won't vote you out or anything like that, but just so you know, you're not the one for me. I don't mean to break your heart. And they're like, you're not breaking my heart. I am also just here because it's fun and I'm on television, blah, blah, blah. The other option that I was thinking was also mask off and like, listen, you're not the one. I don't think I want to marry you. I think it would be crazy if we got married based on this TV show. I would like to have sex with you. Does that sound fun? Can we just do that? And like normal people in their 20s and 30s, and they would say yes.
I think it's possible they do that.
And it's just fine.
I think it's a huge risk. I think it's a huge risk to reveal that to somebody in private, because if they don't feel the same way, that's going on the air. Like immediately they're betrayed, and then they're going to bring it up, and then it brings the whole show down, especially if you're the Bachelor who says that. So I don't think he's doing any of that. The mask never slips. Maybe some of these women might do that, but there's no way he can't. Now, I think that you're right, that there's like, I think from the jump, he has maybe 3 women in mind who he's like, this is my type of person. This is generally the body type I'm attracted to. She seems really great. These are the people I'm actually interested in, because that's how dating works. Like you go on dates with a bunch of people, and within 5 minutes of meeting them, you can be like, this isn't it.
Right.
And
wait,
so he knows.
So this is a real point of order that I need. Is it like a very horny, slutty show, or is it a very prudish show where it's just kissing and God?
It's prudish.
That sucks.
Yeah, dude, it sucks bad. Yeah, it's not a Temptation Island type of thing where like everyone's, I fucked somebody else. God damn it, I didn't mean to do that. Like it is treated like love is divorced of sex until after marriage. They are.
It hadn't occurred to me that it would be prudish and people would see the guy on television kiss the woman on television and have their hearts broken. It's like, you're an adult. What are you doing?
Yeah. They do. I mean, I'll say that I think this is I don't think this is a problematic thing to say. The outfits are not prudish. They are.
That's why I assumed the show was so horny.
Sexy.
Is because I've seen like teasers and posters, and it's like this is Fuckhouse.
It's not. And in fact, it's not even like, I wouldn't even qualify the kisses as sexual either. It's like an intimacy thing. They do bungee jumping together and they're holding one another upside down. And then he says, kiss me. And they kiss each other in a very unsexy circumstance with helmets on. So it's not sexy. But I think that the way that they're, so honestly, I think, there's like 3 people that maybe he has in mind, maybe even fewer than that. And then the other ones, he's got to let on the show because producers are like, we cannot lose this person. This is what everybody's tuning in to see. So I think it's going to be like a jury selection, essentially. I think that he gets a certain number that he's allowed, producers get a certain number that they're allowed. And at the end, he has to pretend like he's in love with all of them.
Yeah. I want 2 different sketch versions of The Bachelor. I want one where it's the first episode and they're like, Bachelor, meet your 35 women vying for your affection. These women, and he's just like, middle one.
Yeah.
Middle one, that's the one for me.
That's the one. I like
Thank
her.
you all for coming out. I picked that one. So that's one sketch.
Done.
And the other sketch is, here's the 35 women vying for your affection. And he's like, pass all around. They seem very nice. I know I'm supposed to get to know them, but like, I also know myself. I know my type. This isn't.
Yeah.
Who else you got?
There's a lot of insecurity on the show, and then obviously it's going to attract a specific type of person to come on the show.
Sure.
He's got a very weird
Speech
energy.
therapists with llamas and whatnot. That kind of person.
She's an anomaly. I'm going to say she's an anomaly. There's a weird thing that's arising with him where you start to see, he talks to these women a lot as, not as like real human beings, but as basically like something to sire his children. He talks a lot about how much I know it's gross. He talks a lot about wanting kids, and he talks a lot about every time that he's talking about how serious he is about this, he's like, I'm trying to find the mother of my children. He's never saying, I'm trying to find the love of my life.
Yeah.
He's trying to say, I want to find the mother of my children, which maybe in his mind means the same thing. Doesn't sound the same.
Yeah.
And it's a little weird. And then he also talks a lot about, I guess maybe he's very traditional. He talks about how he wants to take care of somebody. He wants somebody he can do everything for. And there are certainly women on the show who fit that bill, who are, they are pretty and then period. That's it. And he's really attracted to them in a way where I'm like, oh, Alex isn't for you. I think maybe she's not going to be yours. And there are women who have these incredible jobs and stuff. They're very interesting. We don't talk about that shit at all. This is one woman, Serafina, who is an engineer. He hasn't asked her a single question about that job. And he went on a date with a lawyer in Madrid, and she kept saying to him, wouldn't it be nice to have somebody who can give you more than just somebody to take care of, who also offers you something in return, who can do the same things you can, and then you can build together? And he was like, I've never really thought about it that way. I'm like, all right, dude.
But now that I'm thinking about it, no.
Yes, I think she'll be gone next episode, honestly. Also, I was really trying to articulate this to Colleen, and I was having a hard time, but that's not what he means. When he's saying, I want somebody that I can provide for, I want somebody that I can take care of, he means monetarily exclusively. He's not taking into consideration all of the work that she would also be doing for free in the relationship, but is sort of expecting that without saying it.
Right. I think that means I don't want you to work a job. I don't want you to have a life outside of
100%.
Of housewifery.
I want you, you won't have male friends. You won't have a job. Yeah, I think that's exactly what he's looking for. And so you see these other women doing this, wrestling with this cognitive dissonance about it, being like, maybe I can change him. Maybe he doesn't mean that. Maybe he doesn't know what he wants. And it feels like it's all coming to a head in a way where I'm like, I'm not sure that he's the right guy for any of you either.
Wow.
Yeah.
Maybe this isn't the best way for people to find each other.
Oh, you think? I think it's possible. Maybe. Although I'm 100% there are women on the show who fit that bill and that probably want that from him. And if he ends up with one of these two-dimensional cardboard cutout women instead of one of the interesting ones, good for him. That's what he wanted. That's what they wanted. They got each other. It's beautiful. There's somebody for everybody out there. There truly is someone for everyone.
I got a quick question for you, Soren, and the listeners, I suppose. Should we continue recapping The Bachelor on the Patreon exclusively? Should we actually drive people to sign up for the Patreon? I don't know if they'll be mad about that.
Yeah. I'll let the listeners answer first on this one.
Okay, great.
Okay, so yeah, I guess my opinion would be, I think I agree with the listeners.
Okay,
I
great.
think they're absolutely right. All right, well, I'm sick of talking about The Bachelor. we do that. Everybody does that noise. That we're hitting the old dusty trail noise. Well, well. So I think we're gonna end this podcast now.
We do need a polite version of that noise for non-podcasts, for like a party situation when I'm done having a conversation, but I'm not leaving the party. I'm just leaving the person that I'm with.
Yeah.
I would love that option to like nodding and catching up with someone, maybe at the cocktail hour of the WGAs, and then just go like, well, I gotta go find someone else to talk to now.
Yeah.
Someone that's not you.
I struggle with that regularly. I mean, not anymore, obviously. I don't go anywhere. But I remember that feeling. And I remember thinking, when I was younger, I would do this thing where I would either say, I got to go to the bathroom so bad. And then I would just walk to somebody else.
Right.
Or I was so surely they saw what I was doing. Or I would say, very much more honestly, okay, well, I'm going to make the rounds. I'll be back here in a little bit. We should keep talking. And I never mean that, but that last part. But I am going to make the rounds.
It was, there was nothing... It wasn't the best part of getting married. The getting married part was the best part of getting married. But it felt like a social superpower being the groom at a wedding, because everyone knows what the deal is. Everyone knows that you can't stay and talk to anyone for that long, and you're not rude if you left. And so everyone I talked to, because you do truly have to make the rounds to everybody. And everyone I talked to, I would have a good time, and then I'd be like, all right, I have to go now. And they're like, yes, of course you do. Thank you for this time that you gave me. Every little bit is good. And then I get to just leave and talk to someone else. I understand that I can never do it again, and it's just a wedding thing, but man, it was so... What if all conversations were like this, and someone could just decide it's over?
It would be great. I mean, even if you could just... If it was socially acceptable to just go, disengage, and you just walk away, and they're like, okay, disengage.
Yeah.
It's fine. I disengage sometimes too. All right, I'm going to end the show.
Great.
Thank you for listening to the podcast. This is a quick question with Soren and Daniel. You knew that. If you liked our theme song, that's by me, Rex. You can find their music anywhere you listen to music, or live concerts in England if you wanted to go there if you really wanted to see them. You can find this podcast in video format on YouTube. It's also on Apple Podcasts. And if you're interested in even more of Daniel and I, you can do that through our Patreon. We have a special little untucked version of this show that we do, a little looser, where we talk about other things that are secret unless you pay. We do Patreon episodes every other week. You can listen to those on Apple. If you have Apple subscriptions, you can also purchase it there. Thank you, as always, to our editor, our producer, sound engineer, the glue to the show, Gabe Harder, and fuck, that's it. Did I do it? Oh,
Fuck,
we can
that's
find
it.
Daniel and I on Bluesky. Goodbye.
Right.
I've got a quick question for you, alright? I wanna hear your thoughts, I wanna know what's on your mind. I've got a quick question for you, alright? The answer's not important, I'm just glad that we could talk tonight. So what's your favourite? How did you get? When will I be remembered? Was it ever? Where did all the right we know? Oh, forget it. Soren, Daniel O'Brien, two best friends and comedy writers. If there's an answer, they're gonna find it. I think you'll have a great time here. I think you'll have a great time here.